Welcome and thank you for watching this week's episode of the Real Talk with Doc. And if you haven't already, please turn on your notifications so that you can be reminded when this content is coming to you. And if you find this content to be of value to your real estate experience, whatever that may be, please like and follow us. So, good morning, Kate.
Good morning. So let's start off with this. What's an update that you can give us that's just been happening in the construction world and TeaBow? What's going on in the field?
Well, you can't blame things on COVID anymore. Thank God in a positive way, because supply chains are loosening. Lead times are now drastically coming down from before. I remember we used to order windows and it would take us 8 to 10 months literally to get windows at some point during COVID. And now those lead times are now back down to 8 to 10 weeks, which is a great thing. And it significantly impacts your project and making sure you keep your schedules and timeline. I remember a 2x4 was as high as $12 at one point during COVID. Now you can get a 2x4 for less than $4. Still a third of the cost, but still. So, things are starting to loosen up in the construction world. Money is still expensive, and that's both on the residential side, the development side, and the commercial side. Interest rates, as you all know, hit an historical 2-decade high just less than 2 weeks ago with the last interest rate hike. And that can have a profound impact on your numbers, right? When you look at your performance, you run what your profit margins are going to be at the end of a project, and that money cost you more, that dips into your profit. So the construction world still goes on. You have ebbs and flow of real estate. You're going to have an up market, you're going to have a down market, you're going to have a stable market. However, you just have to strategically position yourself to take advantage of the market. Like if I had won that lottery last night, oh my God, over $1 billion, somebody in Florida won the lottery. Congratulations for purchasing that ticket from a Publix grocery store. So if you purchased that ticket from a Publix grocery store in the state of Florida, go check your lottery ticket. But congratulations to that person. But if I had won the lottery, I would purchase every piece of commercial real estate I could right now, because commercial real estate is dirt cheap. And guess what? It's not going to stay that way, because the Biden administration just made a big push for all government employees. No, y'all not going to hear this. Don't beat up the message. I'm just bringing information that may be of value and of use to you. But all government employees starting September will have to report back to the office 80% of the time, if not 100% of the time, because they got to fill these spaces that they're paying all this money for no one to occupy. So when everybody start coming back to the office and the normalization of working from the office and not from home goes back to our old traditional ways, then again, commercial real estate is going to shoot back up. Restaurants are going to come back into the area because people are going to go there for lunch. They're going to go there for after work dinners, after work happy hour. Like, there was a disruption of all of that. And now that is starting to come back to what we knew prior COVID for the commercial industry to be. So if I could right now, I'd snatch every piece of commercial real estate, pennies on the dollar, and just wait for this market to go back up, and then you cash in. So, Kay, I hope that answers your question. Sometimes I can go on and on about this stuff because I absolutely love it.
That's amazing. So we want to talk today about architects and how we have an in-house architect. So can you tell us a little bit about the benefit of having an in-house architect?
Man, architects are expensive. So shout out to our in-house architect, Marcy. Marcy, shout out to you this morning, because I'm telling you, you keep costs down for our clients, and you also keep a direct line of communication to our architectural department to get things back immediately so that we can keep that pre-construction or that part of the pre-construction phase moving along. When we didn't have an in-house architect, we were spending tens of thousands of dollars, and on our bigger projects, right under $100,000 for a set of drawings. And that becomes very costly. And meanwhile, the architect, you're not their only client. So sometimes you'll give them something that takes a 1 week to 2 week turnaround just to get that stuff back. As we grew and as our clientele became bigger, right, we saw it to be very advantageous for us to hire and bring on a full-time in-house architect. Number one, because all of our projects are number one. They only work on our projects. We get things back, and sometimes 24 to 48 hours. So you're cutting that wait time from 1 to 2 weeks. And imagine if you add 2 to 4 weeks to a project, that project is already a month behind. So we believe in expediency, we believe in being efficient, and we believe in, most importantly, saving money so that we can save our clients money. We pass those savings on to our clients. So, architects, they can limit the amount of hours they put into a project before they start charging you more, right? So for instance, to get through your schematic drawings, most architects will give you 3 revisions, right? After that 3rd revision, you can pay anywhere from $150 to $250 an hour. And that's just costly, man, because, clients don't build houses every day. So sometimes they're going to have 5, 6, 7 revisions, especially if they're paying $1 million plus for a house. That's the whole beauty of the, design process when you're building your custom home. It's customized to what you envision and what you dream. And we really, we take that process seriously, and we are very empathetic when it comes to clients and understanding they're not builders, they're not developers, they're not going to think of the things that we should be coaching them through. And Pinterest, they're going to go crazy. They're going to go crazy on Wayfair, looking at what the interior of the house is going to be like. Pinterest with all these different 50 gazillion designs. So we get it, right? So it's our job to put together a very cohesive, very poignant process that's going to save them time and money. And having an in-house architect just affords us to do that on so many different levels.
Okay. So for those who don't know, what is the role of an architect in the construction project?
So the architect is like the conductor. They orchestrate all of the different teams that it takes to put a full set of what we call construction plans together to submit to your particular municipality to get a building permit, and to also, for your protection, make sure that the building is built to a minimum code requirement so that you don't have problems with your home. So the architect will bring in the team of the mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineer. She will bring in the team of the structural engineer. She will bring in the team of the geotech engineer. She will bring in the team of the civil engineer. So you got 5 different engineering departments that the architect brings together to make sense of her architectural design. And as she's orchestrating between those different engineers and coming together to make sure that a solid set of plans for a great build has been created, and also a solid set of plans that's going to not only just barely pass minimum code requirements, but will exceed those requirements, it makes for an easy process to have someone to delegate that to. While I focus on the client, I focus on making sure that they are building a great budget that is going to build what they're anticipating, and I can get them ready for the construction process. So it's like a divide and conquer. That architect is a very critical component in getting that pre-construction process started and finished.
So what are some challenges that can arise if, we don't have accurate and detailed architectural drawings?
Oh, it costs you money. It costs you money because it's going to cost you time, because the reviews, man, they move at their own pace. And sometimes reviewers have anywhere from 15 to 30 days to respond to you. And sometimes they don't respond until that 15th day or that 30th day. So if an architect has like really bad drawings and has to keep going back for review, and they have to keep going back to address comments that are just not meeting code requirements, then that 30 days can turn to 60 days, that can turn to 90 days. And you see where I'm going with this. This is 3 months that you're sitting on your drawings. And especially if you've already purchased the land, or especially if you've done some construction perm loan where you're paying interest payments until the project is built, like, you just push your project out 3-4 months unnecessarily because you just didn't have the right architect on your team. So it's costing you money, then it's costing you time.
So when looking to hire an architect for a project, what are some things that you feel should be considered?
You want to make sure that the architect is a good right for your project. Every architect is not a good right for every design build. Particularly, some architects are just better at contemporary homes. Some architects are better at traditional homes. Some architects are better at transitional homes, right? Some architects are just better at doing commercial, and some commercial architects should never do anything residential. You also want an architect who vibes with your energy, someone that's going to be patient with you, someone who seems like they have a tolerance, because some architects can get very annoyed very easily. That's just how they're programmed. But those are the things you should be looking for. And also when you read your architectural contract, like, look for stopgap measurements. Like, are they looking to cut off services included in that contract price and then you're going to have to pay these additional fees beyond some benchmark. That's important because, again, you may go into a set of drawings thinking your drawings are only going to cost $10,000, and then you just haven't decided on that schematic set, and you go to a 5th, 6th, 7th iteration, and all of a sudden you get an invoice for $4,000. Well, shoot, that's 40% of your budget that you have for architectural drawings. 4,000 to 10,000, that's a 40,000 hike. Like, that happens commonly all the time. Our architect's going to charge you for every little thing. Like, if they print a sheet that they need to go over in their team meetings, are they charging you to like pay for that sheet that they set for a printed set of plans? Like, some architects do that. I call that nickel and dime. That's crazy. That's like me charging the client, the pay the cost of the paper that I printed for the contract to have ready for it. Then when they came to my office, like, I couldn't imagine doing something like that. However, some architects think that's copacetic. We don't, so we don't deal with those architects. So all of these things really, be very mindful of and look out for when you're interviewing different architects.
So if someone wanted to have TeaBow work on their project only for architecture, is that a possibility?
Yeah, shout out to our new client, Alex, all the way from California, yay, West Coast, baby. We will, okay, at some point you gotta how you face me out. Man, he has this cool, inspired Asian style home that we're gonna be doing for him. We're gonna be doing the architectural drawings for him to get a construction set so he can submit for building permit. And we're also gonna be doing everything up to rough end. So he's kind of in the industry. He owns a flooring company. And what's gonna happen is we're gonna do the concrete slab, we're gonna do all the grading, we're gonna bring in all the utilities, we're gonna do all the framing, and then from there, he's gonna take it from there. And with him taking it from there, because he has some experience in that, it's a great situation because, he's gonna save money by, continuing the rest of construction with his resources and his pool of people. But he's also going to be very efficient in just bringing us in and knocking that out in a timely manner. So we are doing his architectural drawings for him in-house. We've already started that process, and we do that for anyone in the country. Again, everybody in the country uses the same codes from a federal point of view, and then you have these state codes that are specific to those states. And then sometimes you have different municipality codes, but all of them really should be in alignment with the federal codes that's, countrywide. So whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, Mid-East, Midwest, there are federal code regulations that all architects need to follow in terms of building code requirements. And then again, like I said, from region to region, there's some like nuanced municipality code things like R value rating. Of course, you're gonna need a higher R value for places that are very frigid cold versus those more milder places where you don't need such a high R value in terms of the constructability of the home. So yeah, we can do architecture drawings for anybody in the country. I wouldn't say world, because again, we've never built anything in Europe, and I'm pretty sure that building in Europe is different than building in the United States. The whole process is different. That might be a pretty cool thing to research to understand how different it is in other countries. But nevertheless, I digress. But yes, we can do architectural drawings for anybody, anywhere in these United States of America.
Awesome. So, as we're moving forward in the conversation, getting ready to close, I'm pretty sure people are like, I definitely want to book TeaBow. So how can they do that?
Go to our website, www.TeaBow, and TeaBow is spelled like a tea bag, TeaBow, residential.com, and reach out to us there. You can call me directly. I'm kind of a little leery about putting my direct business phone out there, but if you go to our website, do a little footwork, my contact phone number on my business phone is there as well. I love the DMs that we're getting. I love the emails that we're getting. I appreciate you all thinking that what we have is of value to you, because we truly first come from contribution. And again, like, even if you just got questions, I'm always on the move. I'm in my car lot, so people, I got a call from somebody in Alaska. That might be an ignorant comment to make, that Alaska phone lines wouldn't come all the way. They got a cell phone, so all that pings off a cell type. But yeah, that was pretty cool to have someone call me all the way from Junia, is that how you pronounce it? Junia, Alaska? Yeah, Junia, Alaska. So yeah, so just reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to see how we can help you with your situation. Again, no question is a dumb question when it comes to construction, but that question you don't ask could be a very costly unasked question. So yeah, please, I have no problem talking to people and, guiding them in the right direction, whether they use our services or not. That's that good energy we like to put out there.
All right, favorite part of the whole Real Talks with Doc. Share some wisdom.
Oh man, you don't always get it right. Kay's behind the camera, and I was really, 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 really vexed yesterday when we got our first not so great review. And I take those things seriously. One of the biggest things we practice here as a principle is client obsession. And what does that truly mean? That means making sure that each and every client has an elite experience throughout every single phase, every single interaction of the process when they're dealing with TeaBow and our constituents, right? So we got a review that wasn't so good, but the review wasn't clearly accurate either. So, sometimes people get in their emotions, and what happens is they don't really recall things correctly. So I immediately called the client, and she didn't answer. But she did call me back later in the day, and we spoke for over an hour, just getting her to understand what happened, getting her to understand, things from my point of view as I fully understood things from her point of view. And at the end of the day, it was a really great call. I mean, she said, yeah, I was kind of touched. I didn't cry anything. I'm not going to say that, but I was really touched emotionally. And I don't really get touched, but she said at the end of the day, Dr. Bowman, I really appreciate you even caring enough to call me back, because that speaks volume of you as an owner, because some people just wouldn't have cared enough for that. And I got my coffee maker in the background grinding. As she don't see, we shooting it here in the ocean. Like, what do people be thinking about? The coffee makers, grinding coffee beans. Like, y'all see what I gotta deal with, man? In the middle, just being vulnerable. But yeah, so at the end of that conversation, it just kept me grounded and it kept me humbled to know that we're never too big for what our clients feel and think throughout the process. To just stop, reach out to them, and make sure we get it right. So getting it right is important to us. Not being right, but getting it right. There's a difference in that. So I tell people all the time, it's not about my way or your way, but what is the right way? And how do we effectively communicate in that process to fully understand one another so that we can have long, lasting, trusting relationships. And that is my words of wisdom from this little peanut head that I like to share with our followers out there. Hey, and look, man, I'm telling you, this is an amazing experience. I was never a big fan of the social media thing because I thought it's kind of whack, right? But there's power in social media. There's power in people no longer just watching, scripted content on television, but just really want to hear from real people about real talks that matter to them in real life. And I now have understood the power in that. Shout out to Kay and the marketing team. We're almost at 30,000 followers on our TikTok. Instagram is growing, Facebook is growing. And it's just a wonderful feeling to be able to give back to those in my circle that know me, like me, trust me, and love me. And those people who I haven't had the privilege of meeting yet, but will someday meet soon, because we have something of value to offer you. And it's been a great journey. So if there are no other questions, Kay, until next time, I'll see you at our next construction site. Stay tuned.